Medusa, a name that echoes through the annals of mythology, a name that has become synonymous with terror and tragedy, a name that sends shivers down our spines, conjuring images of a monstrous figure with serpents for hair and a gaze that could petrify any who dared to meet it. The Gorgon, whose gaze could turn men to stone, stopping them in their tracks and forever trapping them in an endless frozen trance. But before the myth, before the curse, some scholars would say she was a woman of extraordinary beauty and grace, whose life, unfortunately, took a tragic turn. Child of the ancient sea deities Phorcys and Ceto, her sisters Stheno and Euryale were born immortal, but unlike her sisters, Medusa was born immortal, this detail being possible unfortunate reason of her undoing. Foreshadowing the future, she was even a devout priestess of Athena, Greek goddess of war. It all began with Poseidon, Greek the god of the sea, whose desires led him to Medusa, chasing her into the sacred temple of Athena. The encounter was not one of love, but one of force. Poseidon saw Medusa and her beauty and sought to have her for himself, and that he did. Athena, then enraged by this vile defilement of her temple, sent her wrath, which was swift and severe, leading Medusa to bear the brunt of her anger. Athena's retribution fell upon Medusa, not Poseidon, the true perpetrator of this action. This reflected the harsh and often unjust morality of ancient Greek society. Medusa was then transformed into a monster. Her beautiful hair turned into a nest of venomous snakes, her gaze cursed to turn any living being to stone. This transformation was not just physical, but symbolic, representing the loss of innocence and the harsh punishment for a crime she did not commit. Medusa's story is a poignant reminder of the capricious nature of the gods and the vulnerability of mortals, the gods to be isolated and feared. Medusa's life became one of solitude and sorrow. In the end, Medusa's legacy is a complex one. She is both a victim and a villain, a symbol of beauty and terror. Her story continues to captivate and haunt us, a timeless reflection of the human condition and the mysteries of the divine. So Athena, in her fury, chose to punish Medusa. Some say Athena projected her disdain for desire onto Medusa. Others claim Medusa compared her beauty to Athena's. Whatever the reason, the punishment was severe. Medusa was transformed into a horrifying monster. Her hair became venomous serpents. Her skin turned green and scaly. Her eyes gained the power to turn any living creature to stone. Athena's curse ensured Medusa would be feared and reviled. Medusa was doomed to a life of solitude, her only companions, the snakes on her head. Imagine being trapped within your own skin, your gaze once captivating, now a weapon of unimaginable power. This was Medusa's reality. Cursed by Athena, Medusa fled to an island shrouded in mist. There she made her home among ruins. Whispers of her transformation followed her. Some say her heart turned to stone. Others believe a flicker of her former self remained, despite her monstrous outward appearance. Medusa's island became a place of dread. Sailors spoke of eerie silence and hissing serpents. The ground was littered with statues of men, beasts, and birds, frozen in terror. These statues served as a grim reminder of her power. Legends spread of creatures inhabiting the island with Medusa. Whether drawn to her power or fellow exiles, they added to the island's danger. Sarpedon was a place where death wore many faces. Even the bravest heroes feared to tread. Enter Perseus, son of Zeus and Danae. Born from a union of divine and mortal, Perseus was destined for greatness. His life, however, was far from easy. Raised in secrecy to protect him from the wrath of Zeus. Perseus grew up with a sense of purpose and heart full of courage, tasked by King Polydectes to slay Medusa and bring back her head. Perseus faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable. Polydectes, the cunning ruler of Seriphos, had ulterior motives. He sought to rid himself of Perseus, who stood in the way of his desire to marry Danae. Perseus's mother, and the king's command was not just a quest, it was a death sentence. Polydectes hoped to eliminate Perseus and claim Danae. His sinister plan was masked by the guise of a noble quest. The king's eyes gleamed with malice as he sent Perseus on what he believed to be an impossible mission. Little did he know, the young hero was not one to be easily defeated. Perseus, armed with God-given gifts, embarked on his quest. The gods watching from Mount Olympus took pity on the brave young man. They bestowed upon him gifts that would aid him in his perilous journey. With a heart full of determination and divine favor, Perseus set off to face his destiny. Facing Medusa head-on meant almost certain death. The Gorgon with her hair of living snakes and a gaze that turned men to stone. She was an absolute creature of nightmares. Many had tried to defeat her, and all had failed. Perseus knew that brute strength alone would not be enough to overcome this monstrous foe. Guided by Hermes, he received winged sandals that would allow him to fly. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, provided Perseus with a shield that would reflect and reduce Medusa's deadly gaze. The nymphs of the north gifted him a helmet of invisibility, a magic pouch, and a curved adamantine sword. Armed with these divine gifts, Perseus set off to confront his destiny. Each step he took was filled with resolve. The weight of his mission bore heavily on his shoulders, but he was undeterred. The gods had faith in him, and he would not let them down. He knew he had to rely on stealth and cunning to survive. Perseus was not just a warrior, he was a strategist. He understood that to defeat Medusa, he would need to outthink her with his divine gifts and unwavering spirit. He moved forward, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Perseus soared towards the dreaded island. The sea churned below, reflecting the danger ahead. A chilling silence descended as he approached Saperdon. The island exuded an aura of death and decay. Perseus landed on a secluded beach and formulated his plan. He couldn't face Medusa directly. Her gaze meant certain death. Using the helmet of invisibility, he would approach unseen. The mirrored shield would act as his eyes, allowing him to strike at the opportune moment with the curved adamantine sword. Perseus ventured into Medusa's lair. The helmet, a gift from the gods, rendered him unseen by mortal eyes. A crucial advantage against the deadly gaze of Medusa, each step he took was measured and cautious. His heart pounding in his chest as he navigated the treacherous path ahead. The air was heavy with decay, the ground littered with petrified remains. The stench of death was overwhelming, a grim reminder of the countless souls who had met their end here. Bones crunched underfoot, and the eerie silence was occasionally broken by the distant drip of water echoing through the cavern. Each statue frozen in a silent scream reminded him of the fate he was enduring. These were once brave warriors and adventurers, now reduced to lifeless stone by Medusa's cursed gaze. Their expressions of terror and agony served as a stark warning of the peril that lay ahead. The hissing of serpents grew louder as he crept deeper. The sound was unnerving, a constant reminder of the monstrous guardian that awaited him. The serpent's extensions of Medusa herself were ever watchful, their eyes gleaming with malevolent intelligence. Through his shield, he glimpsed their sinuous forms against the polished surface of the shield. The divine gift allowed him to see without being seen. It was his only defense against the petrifying gaze of Medusa, a tool that required both skill and courage to wield effectively. Finally, he reached the inner sanctum, where Medusa lay sleeping. The chamber was dimly lit, the air thick with an oppressive silence. Medusa's form was both terrifying and mesmerizing. Her serpent-coiled hair writhed around her head like a living crown. Each snake moved independently, their tongues flicking in and out as if sensing his presence. The sight was both horrifying and fascinating, a testament to the curse that had transformed her into this monstrous form. Taking a deep breath, Perseus lunged forward. His movements were swift and precise. Guided by the wisdom of Athena, the goddess had not only provided him with the tools for this quest, but also the courage and strategy needed to face such a formidable foe. His sword, guided by Athena, severed the Gorgon's head in a single stroke. The moment was both triumphant and tragic, as the once beautiful maiden was finally freed from her cursed existence. Perseus held the severed head aloft, its eyes still capable of turning onlookers to stone, a powerful trophy of his victory and a symbol of his bravery. The impact of Medusa's death resonated throughout the ancient world. Perseus' victory solidified his status as a hero. Medusa's severed head remained powerful, capable of turning onlookers to stone. Medusa's story is a tapestry of beauty, horror, and injustice. She is both monster and victim, a figure of fear and empowerment. Her legacy reflects our perceptions of beauty, power, and justice. Her myth forces us to confront our relationship with the monstrous and the feminine. Beauty can be both a blessing and a curse. Power can corrupt, and ancient stories still hold relevance today. Medusa's story challenges us to question the narratives we have been told, and in the end, her legacy is one of transformation, reflecting our own complexities in stone.